Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Um, Trying to see if I can share this or not. Hopefully it's coming in good. Um, let's see. Let's see if I can do this. Hold, please. Hold, please. I am trying to share my stream so I can hopefully uh, share this with everyone because my other stream that I set up for this exact event is not allowing me to run from my phone. Is this working? Is this the right one? Hold on, let me see. From my phone. Yeah. It is. It is the right one. Is this working? But you can't see my camera right now. So I love that. The right one? Hold on, let me see. That. From my phone. Yeah. It is. It is the right. All right, let me copy this. Copy URL. Great. Love that. All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, sharing this and then sharing this. Yep. And then sharing this to Telegram. Fantastic. There we go. All right. All right. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Here we go. Hopefully now you can see me. Now you can see me. At least you should be able to now. What's going on? Hello, hello. So a shit ton of people showed up. Like line of cars, parking lots full. We were at 2650 Geotech. Apparently something something with Geotech. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, hey. Now you can see me. Great. Now you can see me. Hopefully everyone's here. Hi, hello, hello. Break the Chains Media here at the Denver anti-flock protest town hall get together meetup. There was a camera over here, camera set up over here, but there is lines of cars, lines of cars. Parking lots are full. Lot of people here in protest in opposition to the flock surveillance cameras. So if anyone saw, I had a stream scheduled and set up for this event. Something to do with Rumbles or something messed up with Rumble. Looks like YouTube and X are looking good. But anyways, we're here, we're running. So I'm gonna flip this camera around. I'm gonna walk in. Uh, let me do this here really quick. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully you can see it now. Hopefully you should be able to see. Yes, and we're gonna go live. So many people are here. So many people are here. Let's see how many people we can jam into a room, right? Hi. Hi. Great. Thank you. Absolutely. As we should be. As we should be, right? Cheers. Cheers. Sure, there's going to be overflow rooms, I'm sure.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
There's going to be some
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh,
Oh, awesome. Thanks. I'm just going to poke my head in there. I'll find the spot in a second.
Awesome.
Cool. Cool. Hi. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at all those people. Holy cow. Holy cow. Please. Sorry, sneak in here. Just want to get a nice shot really quick. Yeah. A lot of people. A lot of people. Say hello to the crowd. I'm not Flock, I promise. This is just all for historical reporting. Hey, I got some cool stuff for you. Oh, no, I know, right? Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Awesome. Awesome turnout. Awesome turnout. Wow. A lot of people. Let's go. What's up, Forest Mommy? Cool. Yeah. So we are. I'm gonna probably end up going to an overflow room here in a second, just because there's so many people. Is it for you? 3D printed magnets, clippy magnets. You can have them all. I don't know, hand them out, whatever you want, but. I stream. I do all kinds of reporting here. So
You're smart. You don't have a budget.
no, yeah. So I got this body cam, and then I got this. So this is for like cold. This is for cold footage. This is for live footage.
This is much more sensible than the crap that I carry.
I mean, honestly though, I wish I could have a little bit more better audio and like it's all in process. But this gets the job done. I did it for the No Kings protest and other stuff. But yeah, we're out here now doing it. So yeah, I hand those all out, or I could, but either way, my buddy actually made those cookies for you.
Thank you.
But they're magnets and whatever.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Yeah, Lewis, I'm Corey. So I'm not too sure what hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit more. So a lot of people are here. I wonder when it's going to start, but I'm probably going to end up getting situated in one of the overflow rooms.
For me to get there, like around there, like that.
Or
Yes.
Or I might be able to find my way in. Let me see if I can find my way. Yeah, this is just what I do. I'll just get comfy somewhere. I'm assuming you're saving that.
Somebody is, but I don't know who. My son found out about it.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're saving it? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I just went back.
That's fine. Flock, no. Yeah. Here, have a sticker. Got plenty of stickers. Yeah. See these stickers? I'm filling it for my camera too. I'm not Flock. This is just to get more people aware of it. Right? A lot of people.
Can everybody hear me?
Thank you, Forrest.
How's everybody feeling? All right. I know it's a very, very packed room. There is an overflow room just right here to my right, behind me. So if you want more comfortable seating, there's space back here. With that, we're going to get started. Thank you all so much for coming. My name is Nate Casa, and I'm a member and organizer with the Party for Social and Immigration. I want to thank all of the organizations included on here for being co-hosts of this event tonight. Thank you to our gracious hosts, Luann, Raymond, Jeff, and the entire GeoSec team for hosting us here. Okay, with that, I just want to provide a very brief recap of how we got here tonight. I want to do a quick temperature check. Raise your hand for the statement that you would say describes your knowledge about how much you know about Florida. So raise your hand if you feel like you know like just a little bit about Florida. Okay. Raise your hand if you feel like you know like a decent amount about Florida. Okay, some people. And then raise your hand if you feel like you're a Flock expert, you know everything about Florida.
No one's ever an expert. Always more you can learn.
Can't know everything.
Yeah.
All right. With that, I'm just going to provide a brief recap of how we got here. Like I said, the series of events that led us to the town hall today. And I'll start with February of 2024, which was when the first contract that Denver got into with the private company. It wasn't voted on by city council. It was for the amount of $340,000 for 92 cameras. And that detail is crucial because in the city of Denver, there's a law that says that contracts under $500,000 do not have to be voted on by the city council. And so that first contract came to be in February 2024. And so between February 2024 and February 2025, all cameras were up and running across our city without much public knowledge. And then in early April 2025, a 2-year contract extension was proposed to the city council. And a lot more information began to be uncovered about how these clock cameras operate. And because of the second Trump administration being underway, many people, including myself, had a lot of concerns. Some of those concerns began to be validated in April of 2025, when Loveland Police Department gave access to their plot portal to an ATF, that's Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms federal agent who did multiple searches for ICE nationwide, including Denver data. If you'll remember, ATF participated, was one of the administrations, or one of the agencies that took part in the raids here on February 5th in Denver and Aurora. And so a lot of these concerns about the federal administration using this data began to be validated. And as this news began to spread, thousands of people across Denver began raising concerns, including many of the organizations co-hosting tonight, about this technology. That was when, because of the outcry of so many people across Denver finally left the national network. And the national network was basically a network of thousands, more than 6,000 agencies across Colorado, across the nation, excuse me, more than 6,000 agencies across the nation that had an agreement where they would share their clock data with each other. And so because of the consistent advocacy and outcry from thousands of Denverites, like many of you here, Denver decided to leave the national network. So fast forward a little bit, I'm almost done. On May 5th, the Denver City Council voted 12-0 against the contract extension of the block. And
Yeah, it was Forrest Mommy. Exactly right, Forrest Mommy.
City Council votes 12-0. May 14th, Mayor Johnson tells 9 News that he fully intends to keep every block camera up and running in the city of Denver.
Boo. Boo.
And then in July, we learned through Denver audit log that Denver's block cameras have been accessed over 1,400 times, with the reason for search being immigration and customs enforcement. And that's when so many of the organizations that are sponsoring tonight's event and thousands of people decided to sign on to a petition that demanded the mayor's office shut down the block cameras. That petition, excuse me, got 1,300 signatures, and people delivered it out. But anyway, that's when the petition was delivered with more than 1,300 signatures. And so that brings us to August, when a 9 News investigation revealed that Flock Safety lied publicly about having contracts with the Federal Immigration Enforcement after it was revealed that U.S. Border Patrol was an active Flock user with access to over 82,000 cameras. So the mayor then decided to push through a contract for $498,500.
Just under.
In early August without cancel vote, just shy of that $500,000 threshold that I mentioned. And then also, why many of the RNOs here, the registered neighborhood organizations here, heard about that, about block cameras, is because
Can you guys hear it okay?
Permit application, they received news about a permit application that block cameras were to be installed in their neighborhoods. And so in response to that, again, the pressure has continued, and 17 organizations issued a statement asking the mayor to turn off the block cameras. And so before we jump into the program, we have heard news just this morning from the mayor's office, and I would like to just share a quick update about that. I'm going to welcome on Katie Leonard to share some news about that.
My name's Katie. I'm a journalist and organizer with the Party for Social Liberation here in Denver. And we have some recent updates that I'm sure some of you have. Any of you seen the news today about what's been going on? Okay, some people haven't, so this is going to be a little shocking to y'all. So instead of joining us here at this town hall tonight, the mayor announced this morning that he is once again unilaterally, without a public process or a council vote, extending the city's contract with Block. So
Almost like a king.
with Garrett Langley, the CEO of Block, behind closed doors, to strike a deal, to start this deal, which is a 5-month extension, which takes us through March of 2026. And there are some alleged new data sharing restrictions that are included in this contract, which I'll talk about in a second. And of course, it was for less than that $500,000 threshold that requires a city council vote. So I just wanted to start it out by asking you all, how do you feel about that? Make some noise, give me some crisis of democracy in this country right now, just following a weekend when millions of people poured out into the streets for No King's Day protest, one man made a decision behind a closed door with the CEO of a private company about a technology that threatens all of our constitutional rights, especially right now. To many of us, this is just a continuation of Mayor Mike Johnston's undemocratic abuse of power surrounding Block mass surveillance.
Technocrat fascist.
Instead of engaging the Block task force that he created, instead of engaging in a public process,
Seriously, Seth.
instead of engaging with city council, instead of coming here tonight, here's all of us, right? Beautiful show of democracy, this community-led town hall. Instead of doing any of those things, Mayor Mike Johnston walked into a room with the CEO of a private multi-billion-dollar company who happens to have the same billionaire donor as him, and he shut the door behind him. And now I just want to be really, really clear about who Mayor Mike Johnston was negotiating this contract extension with behind that closed door. And I hope these videos don't play at the same time, so give me a second to be more excited.
The company that runs like.
So I'm going to give you a little synopsis. The first video on the left side is CEO of Block, Garrett Langley, telling 9 News that absolutely no, Block does not have any contracts with any federal law enforcement agencies. Block does not have any contracts with Customs and Border Patrol or ICE.
Yeah, but it works with DPS.
2 days later, 9 News found out that, guess what?
Or DPD.
Block had with Customs and Border Patrol, which really shines a light on the type of person that Garrett Langley is. Included on that clip is also a little, you can check it out, a little clip about how much he doesn't really care what ICE does. He has no opinion on ICE, which is interesting. And I just want to get into one piece of this extension, but you all should read this whole statement, the ACLU's statement. So there are allegedly new data sharing restrictions that are going to be in this contract extension. One of those being that there has to be a memorandum of understanding between Denver and any agency outside of Denver if they want access to our data. And I think the ACLU of Colorado really hit the nail on the head with this statement and saying that a memorandum of understanding is not a judicial warrant, right? It is a very low threshold, and we need a much higher threshold to protect our constitutional rights here in Denver, especially at a time like this. So I just want to read you this part of the statement because I think it's really fantastic and you should read the whole thing. These safeguards will not be enough. Tracking someone's vehicle, where they're going and when, then storing that information and sharing it without a judicial warrant or exigent circumstances raises real questions around a person's reasonable expectation of privacy. And while the mayor said the data cannot be shared with federal agencies, there are still avenues for federal law enforcement agencies like ICE to gain access to that data. This is a great statement. Please read the whole thing. And I do also want to take a moment to say that although the restrictions in this new contract extension, is nowhere near what we want, what the majority of people in Denver want, which is for the cameras to be turned off, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
These restrictions actually wouldn't exist unless people like us get together. The reason that these restrictions are happening is because people like us have gotten together, like we are here tonight, and we've been fighting for our constitutional rights. This is actually a very small win. It is not the end of the road because we need to keep fighting for our rights, but this wouldn't have happened without our movement. So give it up for each other. I want to continue to keep fighting for our constitutional rights. Isn't that right? We're not going to get down on our knees for a billionaire, for a CEO, and definitely not for a privately owned, multi-billion-dollar mass surveillance company. Isn't that right?
Yep. Yep.
We don't need a king of Denver to make decisions
Nope.
for us. We are capable. We can and we will determine our future. Isn't that right?
Yep.
People power, and I'm an organizer, so I gotta do a quick chant. So when I say who's got the power, you say we got the power. Who's got the power? We got the power. And I say what kind of power? You say
Oh, God.
people power. What kind of power? People power. Who's got the power? People power. What kind of power? People power.
Ugh. Fucking cringe. Cringe.
Okay, with that, we're gonna jump into it. So I'm gonna describe quickly the format of tonight's program. So this town hall was organized by several registered neighborhood organizations, media organizations, and advocacy organizations to inform the public and to give you all an opportunity to voice your perspectives on block technology. The mayor said he was not able to be available in all of October to attend the meeting. But we found it important to continue this event because you all live in this city, it's our city, and we have the right to share our opinions about what affects us. So here's what you can expect. We're going to begin by hearing from 3 community leaders coming from different parts of Denver about their concerns about block technology. And then each of these 3 leaders will have a question that they will pose to the city council members here tonight. And then council will.
Isn't it so silly, Forrest?
We'll then have a question directed towards the mayor's office and DPD after that, those 3 presentations. And then we're going to open it up. We're going to have about 30 minutes or so where you all, as members of the community, can ask your questions and share your opinions. So with that, I'm going to welcome up our first presenter, John McKinney with the East Colfax Neighborhood Association. Give it up for John.
Guys, my name is John McKinney. I am president of the East Colfax Neighborhood Association. And wow, when I ran for president of our neighborhood association, I was going to advocate for some sidewalks, clean up a few alleys. And afterwards, we're going to have some Christmas with mayor. And never could have imagined that it involved trying to stand up for our 14th Amendment right as an American.
Yep. Yep.
For standing up for my neighborhood and citizens within it, standing up for our city, the citizens within it.
I think he's the president for East Colfax. I'm not sure exactly.
Quick side note, I'd like to thank the councilors of all these years and Party for being here tonight. Since we have such a large audience, I'd like to say you'll notice on your ballot that somebody is trying to erode our democracy here in Denver by changing the way the elections occur. Oh, no on that. Want to maintain our democracy. So, 2G. So that's
Ballot Initiative 2G.
So, why am I here? Well, I want to speak on behalf of the community. But also, during the day, I'm a technology consultant, mainly related to broadband. But my career is I take complex technology issues and I break them down into simple terms. And so what I wanted to do is break down what this flock technology does in simple terms. So let's talk about what flock is. It's two things. Number one, it's a series of cameras. And we're using cameras all over the town. These cameras work off a solar panel. And they can be mounted on a street light, they can be mounted on a post. Obviously, then for years, not 2 years, 2 months. But they have a sensor that as you drive by the vehicle, it takes a video and a photo of the car. Now, with that, it takes that photo, it does a little bit of magic inside of the camera, but not very complicated. And then it uses the cellular system to send that technology to a database. And it used to be back in the day that a picture is worth 1,000 words. In Fox case, the picture is worth 1,000 search terms. So what it does is it creates what they refer to as a vehicle fingerprint. It takes different features about that car. So you can't just take off the license plate to get around it. You don't recommend that either way. But it's telling you all the features of your car. That includes the color. My apologies, thank you. That includes the color of your car, the style of your car, features about your car. It also is intelligent enough to start to figure out what the make and model of that car is, all through machine learning. Now, right now, that's kind of the limit of what it's doing as far as identification. However, it's always good to read a patent to find out where this technology is going, because that is the true intent. You want to defend that intent. That's the purpose of a patent. And this patent for Flock actually talks about the backend database and how it can determine race. It can determine the clothes that somebody's wearing and other features, height, weight. So many features about an individual that are actually very personal information. And with that, I think it's not hard to see where that can lead beyond cars. So it's not just cars. Eventually, this can definitely lead to bicycles and pedestrians, meaning that anytime we leave our house, we'd be under constant surveillance. Now, the other part of Flock that is really interesting is they didn't necessarily start out marketing police departments. They started out marketing to so actually market to large companies like Target, Walmart. There was one, as I was going into Buc-ee's the other day, I saw a Flock camera. And when they're marketing to these companies, they don't talk about data security. They talk about a 60,000 camera network with 6,000 agencies and how they're creating a data net. But what they also sell with that is predictive technology, crime prevention, thinking about what you're doing before you're doing it. Yeah. And with that, just alone in Denver, it's capturing 2 million images a day. They're tracking us as we're going.
Big brother.
So with that, talk a little bit about data security. And in the press releases that you're going to read about the contract the mayor signed this morning, it's going to be presented that he's taking care of this data security. And what he's done is he's requiring a memorandum of understanding with other agencies. I don't know that a memorandum of understanding can override somebody's religious conviction if they're trying to get information out of our database. But the second thing is that if a warrant is issued to silent tap the data, that's going to override any memorandum of understanding.
Yep.
And I don't know that we can trust our current administration with the national side to not issue those warrants and not force Flock to monitor that data. And this is important.
I love how they think it's one-sided
This data is not being stored
in government.
on the hard drive of the computer. This is data that's being held on. It's nice. Unplug it. We felt like somebody can get to it, but we can't do that. And then, so really the only way to prevent the sharing of this data in any manner with folks that can cause harm to the members of our community is to not create the data in the first place. And that's the other thing on it is we've all worked with that bonehead coder whose password is password using the A as an @ sign, right? That somehow got his bank account taken twice, clicks on every link that's sent to him. And well, it's probably a little bit lower percentage of officers that take an oath. I can guarantee there's definitely boneheads in that organization too. And with that, we're not talking about 1 or 2 users that have access to data. We're talking about in the police department, hundreds of users. So 700-800 users.
That's smart.
That's
Oh,
just
no,
that's
yeah,
just DPD.
Yeah. Take that average among our departments. That means that we may have 30,000 passwords. We're going to hit a bonehead. We're going to hit a bonehead. And they're going to lose the password, or they're going to make a bad decision and share data, even though maybe the mayors between the 2 cities are signing a brand new understanding with each other. So with that, growing technology capabilities. Just also want to talk about additional data that is surveilling us. The technology, so EFR, drone as first responder. Simply put, what that is it's a box, maybe about the dimensions of this podium that stands about that tall, that you would put in a public place, plug it in, and then when the police are dispatched to a scene, it hovers above the scene and read license plates. And now, on the surface, that actually sounds like a really cool technology. I'd like an officer that's going into the scene to maybe have a little guidance, Anybody who plays a video game knows that sometimes it's kind of good to go to that third person view. So we can definitely understand why they would want that technology. On the other hand, if you're not willing to be open and transparent about all the technology that we're using, how can we be sure that you're not going to take that drone and fly over a protest? And
I mean, that's what they're going to do.
Not go arrest them tomorrow, but what's the name of this?
Database. Chinese style social credit score. Yep.
And, well,
Come on. Because they're complicit to globalists. They want a global control grid.
Wait for something that has a sound signature of a gunshot. And it pinpoints where that occurs using microphones throughout the state. However, as people have started exploring the limits of this technology, we're starting to hear about it being turned on just to kind of record for maybe a fight going, or possibly even conversations.
Duh.
But again, we don't believe that's the current intent for this technology. But why are we putting in infrastructure that makes it possible? And why are we doing it for tax dollars?
Why are we doing lots of things with our tax dollars?
From the use of block technology. And so
I just don't get it.
Thank you for the question. Whenever you read. Yeah. Closer? Okay. Great. Okay. Stand up. Okay.
It's this guy. It's that guy.
My name is Tim Hoffman. I'm from the Mayor's Office. I serve as News Director of Policy. I appreciate the question. I think one of the topics that we've been talking about with council members and others brought up multiple times, and some of these arguments around some of the potential Fourth Amendment implications around whether or not this would be a violation of this type of data protection. Is that the genesis of the question, or?
Well, there's a disagreement about whether this is a Fourth Amendment violation. As a neighborhood, we 100% believe it is. The mayor's office is that there's no expectation of privacy once you enter the public right of way. And my feeling is that kind of surveillance, it erodes our right to religion, it erodes our right to travel freely, and it erodes our right to explore life without experiencing consequences for every little mistake. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
The first quick question, so it's the Mayor's Office position, so there's no expectation of privacy.
She wasn't behind that pole.
Okay. Is that better? Okay. I just want to be very clear that it is not the position of the mayor or the mayor's office that you have no expectation of privacy when you enter a roadway. Why
can't he say that?
What that is referring to.
Excuse me. If folks like invited, council members and people from the mayor's office, can we, if we're trying to engage in a dialogue and conversation, which I'm here to do tonight, I'm here to listen to all of you as well. And a lot of us have been working really hard trying to address these concerns and these issues. And so if we can just try to have, some respectful dialogue and allow people to speak, you may not agree with what they have to say, and that's fine. We don't have to agree, but I would like to allow people to speak.
Let them put it down. Let them put it on the record.
Thank you, Councilman. What I was saying is that what the reference is to the legal standard around whether or not there's a Fourth Amendment violation when it comes to these type of surveillance technology. And what the courts have for decades looked at is whether an individual has a reasonable expectation of privacy in the thing that is being searched. There are courts that have looked at this as it relates to license plate reader systems in other jurisdictions, and some courts have found that yes, it is that you do have a reasonable expectation of privacy of your license plate when you're on a public roadway.
There are also many other courts that have looked at it who have found that no, you do not have a reasonable expectation of privacy of your license plate number when you are on the road. So as it relates to the first question, that is an unsettled area of law right now. But I think to the larger point around the question of, is this a technology that is tracking everyone in this room around the city right now? I think that there, as we were talking about, there is a fundamental disagreement in that, yes, there are pictures being taken at these 111 locations of the cameras, but they are not being searched by anybody unless your car is suspected of being either stolen or involved in another crime.
Not yet.
The mass surveillance where everyone is being watched all the time and the data being passively collected. And it is then only looked at, and this is one of the new features that we included as we roll out these new technological features. DPP, as of now, is the only agency in the country who has access to data. Period, full stop.
For how long though?
It's only temporary.
But as part of the new data system that we are rolling out, when a DPP officer,
Fucking commies.
when a DPP officer is going to search for a license plate, there will be an enumerated list of crimes that they will have to select that will then enable them to search for that vehicle. So it is not as though they can type into an open box any reason for why they are doing it. It will be an enumerated list of either Colorado or Denver-based crimes that would then enable them to search for it. So I think, again, there's simply a disagreement over whether or not the passive collection of these license plate images that has been held on this system but is not accessed or looked at by anyone constitutes the mass surveillance that it's being portrayed as, or if it's only when you, or it's not even you, when your vehicle is suspected of being involved in a crime or it's been stolen or otherwise, it would then be cleared into the system. This for the last 30 days that it would pop up into the law.
That's just the justification.
So the question is actually about. How do you feel about liability for creating this data?
Can you say a little bit more about what you mean by use against the citizens?
Well, let's say that a citizen from the state of Texas was seeking abortion care.
Do you know who that guy's that's talking is? You know his name? I didn't get it. I think president of the East Colfax Association. John McKinney. Thank you. John McKinney, Forrest, mommy.
Now that person has experienced damage because of data that was collected by the city of Denver. I would believe that would cause a great liability for the city.
Yeah, so a couple things. Number one, we have shut off access to every jurisdiction outside the state of Colorado. That's been the case for several months now. We now have shut off access to every.
Who's the guy that's talking now?
So the Texas jurisdiction simply does not have access to Denver data. It cannot get it. Secondly, there are state laws and there are Denver ordinances around whether or not we can comply with under civil immigration enforcement or reproductive health care. Someone's coming to shield law statewide. And so FLOC has setting parameters that there's absolutely in the state of Colorado no searching for any sort of terms that have any sort of implication around immigration enforcement, civil immigration enforcement, or reproductive health care. It's just not something that in the current system that we have built.
You get around it easily.
What about party affiliation?
Thank you all.
That's Forrest, mommy. That's the guy in the light gray or the light tan suit. I'm not sure who the other guy in the
So,
dark
a
the
few
dark one is.
a few responses. I think, it's missing the forest for the trees a little bit to say that essentially once, now that we locked out everyone other than, Denver police as of this morning, by the way, which the American done at any time. But now that we've done that, we're thinking about letting access back in. And John is actually hitting the nail on the head here because, in addition to this large searchable database, which, officers can access, without any kind of reasonable suspicion or warrant. So, I do take objection to the mayor's office saying that you have to be suspected of a crime. You only have to be suspected of a crime in the mind of an officer doing a search. There's no legal standard that's applied.
Right. Sounds like that. Sounds like that guy's name was John from the mayor's office.
So if someone does get a warrant, and we have created these images, and so then at that point, we may be in a legal situation where we're handing them over, and we're helping people who came here to get reproductive health care, be prosecuted for it back home, and I'm not okay with that under any circumstances, I'm just not. The other thing I wanna do really quickly is, I just wanna be really clear about how we got on the national network. Because the primary presentation today about, the way that we're tightening this up so much is we got off this national network in April. We're gonna get off the state network. We're gonna remove the logins for the 2 FBI officers who we gave logins to through DPD itself. Any of which we could have done at any time. But the way we got on the national network was, we signed an agreement to get these cameras and to create a searchable database for ourselves. It said nothing about a national network. Did not know, the mayor's office did not know, certainly council did not know, certainly you all did not know that we were on that national network until city council started asking questions after we'd been on it for a year. Flock put us on it without any permission and without telling us. And we decided that this company is so trustworthy that we can do a little handshake deal with them. I am not okay with it.
Remember one clear message to the mayor. Please share this with him. On behalf of the citizens of East Colfax. And we're gonna say this in a really East Colfax kind of way. Quit doing this behind closed doors and come out and debate this in the public forum, you fucking pussy.
Thank you, John. We're gonna welcome up our next presenter, Julie Camera with the Americans for Liberty.
Can you speak, y'all, am I right? So, yeah, my name is Julian. I'm with the ACLU of Colorado. We're a civil rights and civil liberties organization working to protect and expand the civil rights and civil liberties of all people in Colorado, and we're a nationwide organization. We've been around for over 100 years doing the government. This comes at a good time. I think it's very understandable why people are so upset. There's been a number of concerning and conflicting statements coming from the mayor, from the Denver Police Department, from the Flock CEO, and other agencies involved in the Flock contract. And so during our coalition's initial investigation into the use of Flock by the city of Denver, we asked repeatedly
He is a hobbit.
data sharing from the federal law enforcement agencies and agencies outside of Colorado have access to the data of Denver residents without their knowledge or their permission. And we were told repeatedly, no, Denver only shares with agencies in Colorado. When Denver was considering an extension of the Flock contract in April, Denver Police Department told the City Council Safety Committee during presentation that Denver Police, quote, only shares its Flock data with agencies in Colorado. We're continuing to hear that, right? Soon after, Denver Police learned that they were in fact sharing our data on a national network with with thousands of law enforcement agencies and an unknown number of searching users within those agencies. And without notifying the public or city council members, Denver police took Denver off the national network quietly on April 16th. And this critical information was not shared with the public or even to city council members until months later.
I'm gonna move.
Even Flock's own transparency portal showed that only Colorado agencies could access Denver's data while we were on the national network. So DPD is saying, no, we're not on the national network. Flock's transparency portal is saying Colorado's not on the national network. And this is just blatantly false. So Denver police was not honest about this, and something they admit they did not realize until community, till city council voiced their concerns in April. This misinformation and change in data access was never publicly corrected to the media, the community, or to council, and Chief Thomas admitted to City Council on June 9th that Denver has been on the national network. And that was the first time that we actually ever heard anything about the critical error that put like all of everybody's personal information at risk. When it comes to a thing called the audit logs are promoted by Flock and Denver Police as key oversight mechanisms to ensure misuse is not happening. However, through our coalition's research, we found that the audit logs were hidden for months, and once they were released after pressure from City Council and our coalition, the audit logs were heavily redacted with critical information missing. In fact, council members requested to see the audit logs as early as April 2nd, and Denver did not release the audit logs until nearly 4 months later on July 23rd, after receiving a ton of records requested. In the audit logs provided by Denver Police, there were millions of searches conducted by law enforcement agencies. And of those millions of searches, we only received 1,402 rows, which showed the reason in which the searcher was doing the search. Those 1,402 rows were filtered by Denver Police to reveal only the searches where ICE or immigration was the stated search region. And as you can see on the slide, law enforcement from across the country were doing searches for ICE across 6,000 Flock networks nationwide, including Denver. But the heavy redactions to the audit logs means there was millions of searches that we have no idea what they were for. And Denver Police Department wanted us to believe that the 1,400 rows were only immigration related searches. And however, later analysis revealed that dozens of additional searches related to Border Patrol and ICE operations had also been redacted. So this is the main form of transparency that Flock markets as their oversight mechanism. And the audit logs presented to us were not even inclusive of all the immigration related searches, let alone millions of other possibly problematic searches that were entirely redacted. And the dishonesty continues. So on April 3rd, Denver Police Commander Herrera told local news, quote, "We had a concern come up about could any of the Denver data be used for ICE civil violations in violation of Denver Municipal Code. The answer is no," end quote. This was later proven to be happening. On May 14th, Mayor Johnston tells 9 News he fully intends to keep every Flock camera up and operating in Denver. Quote, "Could a law enforcement agency use this database to track someone down on an ICE hold and arrest them? No, because the system is not designed to do that," end quote. At this point, Denver Police already knew that they had been sharing our data on the national network. And if they had checked the audit logs that had already been requested by our coalition, they would have seen the thousands of searches that had already occurred for ICE on our system.
That's right.
So on August 8th, the Department of Safety confirmed that there are currently 3 FBI employees who have access to DPD's Flock system, contrary to repeated claims to the media from the mayor that federal access has been turned off. In a community meeting just a month ago on September 25th in Park Hill, the mayor told residents that Flock only takes photos of license plates that have been reported in a crime. This is blatantly false. According to Flock Safety, their LP license plate reader cameras take pictures of every car that passes, and that's why, as John had mentioned, we have over 2 million vehicles that are documented every month.
His name is John. Techno Tyrant.
And to add on to that, as we saw today, the mayor unilaterally is taking action against not just the public, but also to city council members who are there to help support it, right?
Yep.
And so if you remember back in May, Denver City Council voted unanimously not to expand a contract with Block. The mayor then immediately tells the media he's going to keep the cameras up with his office saying they have enough funds left in the contract to continue through the end of the year. But on July 7th, Mayor Johnson unilaterally extended the Block contract for $498,500 through October 30th, 2025.
Sounds like
Now,
a
keep
king.
in mind, the mayor needs to go through city council to pass contracts that exceed $500,000. So he managed to do this with a $500 threshold. Not only did this tremendously undermine the authority of our lovely city council members here, right? But Mayor Johnson didn't give any notice to the public or about his actions. Then on July 8th, Denver Police and Flock filed a permit application to install 4 new Flock cameras across the city. Again, no notification to council. Another attempt to expand the Flock network in Denver with no notice to council. Now,
Sounds like a king.
yeah, so this is quite a bit of a theme here. So we're having dishonesty from our mayor, dishonesty from Denver Police, and we're also, getting dishonesty from Flock, the CEO himself. So on July 30th, Flock CEO Garrett Langley gives a media interview saying he would consider a contract with ICE in the future, but says Flock does not have any current contracts with federal immigration enforcement. Then on August 16th, just 2 weeks later, 9 News publishes an article saying that ICE agents can and do access Flock data, despite Flock's own claims that they don't. So additionally, and then recent investigative reporting reveals that both Flock and the Texas sheriff, as Councilmember Parody was mentioning, tried to cover up a story about a Texas law enforcement agent searching across 83,000 cameras nationwide for one woman who had an abortion. This is awful. This is one of the most horrendous stories. So both the sheriff's office and Flock Safety have attempted to downplay the search as akin to a search for a missing person, claiming deputies were only looking for the woman to check on her welfare.
Sneak there, excuse me. Excuse me.
Found a large amount of blood.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Responding officers application.
My phone's about to die. That QR code goes to my X page, so hopefully stay in touch. Thanks for coming. All right, I'm gonna give you an update here because my phone is drastically dying on me. My phone is dying, so I'm gonna step out here real quick and get a little update. I got less than 20% on my phone, and I know last time I did a live stream, my phone died at like 15%, or the camera turned off at 15%. So I'm going to step out here and hopefully do a little recap before my phone dies. Let's see here. Hopefully I'll get it. Let's see here. Hold on. Flipping my camera around. Hey, that looks good, I guess. That'll look good. Okay, so recap here. I am about to probably quit the stream because my phone's about to die. But in summary, there's a lot of fucking socialists in there. There's a lot of leftists in there, but rightfully so, regardless of party affiliation. This is about surveillance. This is about government overreach, about invasion of privacy. They like to frame this regarding immigration and customs and using it for the federal government. And you even heard it in there earlier when they were explaining how we don't think that Mayor Mike Johnston is going to be using it for this reason or that, but like the national government might use it. No, The thing is the infrastructure is in place to set up a Chinese style social credit system, social credit score that will surveil and monitor, track, trace, and database everyone, every motion, every movement, your way to work, your way to school, you name it. They'll track you with your family. They'll track you with your, when you're going on vacation. They'll track you no matter what. So it doesn't matter if it's they're worried about federal law enforcement. Guess what? It doesn't, whether it's the Trump administration or the future Democratic administration, or 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it doesn't matter. If the infrastructure is in place, they will use it for their own means. They will implement technocratic tyranny, and the bottom line is that it is with beyond the pale. And this is exactly what George Orwell warned us about, is a surveillance state monitored and controlled by the government. So regardless of their lensing, regardless of the left narrative to say, oh, they're going to use it for immigration, or they're going to use it to track abortions, they're going to use it to track anyone at all times, no matter what. Whether you're on the left or the right, and like they're claiming that it's, oh, we're not using it for criminal data. If they put you on a list, if they subscribe to you as an extremist or left or right, it doesn't matter. Politics doesn't matter. Policy, they're gonna track you. They're gonna find you if they have this implementation in place, if they have this infrastructure built around them. So that is why I'm out here. That is why all these other people are out here, regardless of their party affiliation, regardless of their socialist views or their communist views or anti-government views, whatever it is. The fact is, we can all come together to understand that a mass surveillance state of government track, trace, and database is tyrannical. Does not matter whether it's Mike Johnston implementing it or the next, GOP supreme leader. Doesn't really matter. But I hate when they lens it, and I hate when they frame it in a left and right paradigm. It is government tyranny at the end of the day. So I've got a few more minutes left. I'm probably going to go in there and drop some of my stickers. I made a whole shit ton of stickers, but the thing is that the flock conversation is not going away. So, you saw these, I've got a bunch of cool stickers. So I'm going to go hand some off right now. So see some of these people, what they're doing. You want a sticker about anti-flock? There you go. Yeah. I'm actually going to go inside and drop a stack on the table, because why the fuck not? I got a shit ton. So, let's go in here and I'm gonna flip the camera around real quick. Here's a couple anti-flock camera stickers. Thanks. Cool, yeah. It's still going. It's just my phone's about to die, and I'm like, I gotta keep it. I gotta keep it up. Thanks. Anti-flock stickers. Yeah. Oh yeah, here here, take a bunch. A whole fucking pile of them, bro. Yeah. You guys some things to give away later. Where? There are probably other people that had stickers. I mean, like, I've got printers, and I just make stickers like this depending on the topic or subject. Yeah, so put them around Denver, put them wherever you can, gas stations, stores, you name it. The QR code just goes to my Twitter page, but I think it's just more about the message, right? Yeah. Yeah, so the PSLs here, they're the ones that kind of put it together. It's something that any party, every party, left, right, center, doesn't matter who, the surveillance state of government tyranny is on the rise, and we have to, keep an eye out for it. Whether it's a Democratic mayor putting it in, and then you get a conservative, it doesn't matter. The implementation's there, the infrastructure's there. Anyone can use it at any time to surveil you, monitor you, track, trace, database, 1984 George Orwell type shit. So we have to stop this at all costs. I'm definitely not part of the PSL, but it's the principle of the matter. So, yeah, cool. Got to make it clear, right? I'm not going to go back in, but I'm just going to get for a sticker. Just cool stickers you can put at gas stations or doors or light fence poles or light poles or you name it. Yeah. Yeah. Hand them all out, you know. Made 100 stickers, so I might as well just give them away. Yeah, gas stations are great places for them. Front of like, you name it, corners, intersections, downtown, you name it. Yeah. In my public service today, right? Yeah. All right. So wrapping up here. There's another one in here. Thank you. Appreciate it. There you go. So you got overflow rooms. So I don't know how many people were here today, but I would argue that there was probably how many people do you think showed up here? 500? Yeah, I'm gonna say it's right, something like that. We just make up a number. 5 billion people showed up. Right. Yeah. All right. So with that being said, folks, I think we are wrapping up this live stream because my phone is about to die. I did everything I could to try to save my battery, but alas, the fight for freedom never ends. The fight against tyranny is always going, regardless of phone battery or not. So I appreciate everyone joining and jumping in the stream. Rumble, YouTube, X, love you. See you all. I'll probably be doing like an update video or like a review video about what's going on here. I wish I could stay longer, or at least I wish I could live stream it longer. But I might hang out a little bit longer and maybe get some more on my other camera. But with that being said, folks, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out. And make sure you share this information with everyone that needs to know, whether you're in Denver, in the Denver metro, different cities, different counties, the entire state of Colorado, and the world for that matter, because this is the Chinese style social credit score. This is exactly what China does to their citizens. Whether you're criminals or not, the Chinese style database social credit score infrastructure is what they're trying to implement here. So we have to be aware. We have to be vigilant. We have to stand up against it. We have to speak out against it. And Mayor Mike Johnson, he's a motherfucking king, and he ain't going to be doing it. He ain't going to be around here doing it much longer because I think a lot of people are pissed, regardless of party affiliation. So with that being said, folks, I love you. I appreciate you. And as always, fight for freedom. Never give up.